My brain surgeon said that I was the luckiest unlucky man in the world because I was meant to be dead back in July from terminal brain cancer. I still have brain cancer, but I found out that I had brain cancer without any symptoms, with a freakish amount of luck of simply doing a medical experiment. And with me getting brain cancer, I decided to change my entire sort of scope of what my purpose was in life. I never had a purpose before, and now I do. And for that, I'm eternally grateful. So cancer may be a bad thing, but in a lot of ways it's actually brought me a lot of happiness, because I wake up in the morning and I only have one singular goal, and it's something that you guys might actually be interested in as well. Because my purpose on life now, my only life goal, is to break a charity world record by raising the most amount of money ever for running a marathon. However, I raise that money in a completely unique way. No one has ever done it before, and I want to be the first person to ever achieve this. So far, I've raised over 600 million US dollars, and it's by not asking you for donations, but asking people to subscribe to this channel, follow all the other channels, all the social media channels. I got 8 million on Instagram, nearly 6 on TikTok, and it's because I want people to do that so that I'm able to get sponsorships, and then I get the sponsors to donate on your behalf, and it's working. Now, this is a diary entry. I have to always start off with that sort of reason to start this channel, because otherwise you'd be looking like, why do I want to hear this guy's questions and answers? So yeah, press the subscribe button if you've got friends or family that are affected by cancer, because if you press that button, it's quite literally the world's cheapest health insurance ever even conceptualized, because no money needs to be exchanged from your part, but you will increase the chances that, hang on a second now, you press a button on whatever dice you're looking at this So you press a button on whatever device you're looking at this with, television, remote, laptop, phone, whatever, and you will increase the chances of life expectancy and life quality of people that are associated in your life with cancer. And the stats aren't crazy with that. It's 1 in 2 people. So it's half of the people that you know at some point in their life are likely to get cancer. Now, I know that's morbid, but this is a diary entry, and I'm just answering the questions, the Q&A that a lot of people asked me earlier on. And the first thing that I suppose kind of has to be dealt with is, why do I look like a teenage mutant ninja turtle? And that's simply because the New York Marathon is coming up in 3 days, and I'm not dressing up for Halloween for doing the New York Marathon, even though it's sort of set just behind it. I'm going to be dressed up as Solid Snake. Different reasons, but the reason why I'm wearing this stuff is because it's a weighted pack, and it weighs up to 52 pounds, because after I break the world record for raising, after, not if, after, I'm going to do this. I'm not stopping at any point. That's part of the reason why I want to not ask for donations. More followers means that every single year we up the chances of breaking the world record that year. So you guys will never get tired of me, asking over and over and again for donations. That's never going to happen. It just keeps getting better every single year. After I break the world record for raising the most amount of money for running the marathon, I want to increase that difficulty, and I want to raise the most money forever for a charity walk. And the charity walk, the money raised for that is significantly higher. It's 17 times more. It's 38 million Great British pounds. And so in order to kind of increase the physical difficulty to kind of make it balanced out, I plan on doing a 52-mile walk in a 52-pound weight vest in the 52 countries or territories in the continent of Europe over the course of 1 year. So 52 weeks in a year. I love it when numbers match up like that. And so for the New York Marathon, I'm going to be doing it live on Twitch. So it's going to be great fun, and it's also going to be me kind of just testing out to see how much it's going to feel like. I've already kind of been doing that quite a lot. Recently, I did 32 counties of Ireland, a half marathon in every single one of the 32 counties, wearing a 32-pound weight vest at the start on the first day, and then increasing the weight all the way up to 32 kilos by the end. So 32 kilos is way more than what I'm in now. This is 23 kilos. A marathon, the distance is twice as much as a half marathon. So I would say that will actually be far, far, far more difficult than doing a half marathon with heavier weighted vests. So yeah, that's the intro. That's your reason why you should press the subscribe button. And now we're going to get through the 5 questions that were asked. So question number 1 from I Don't Know 7 is, did cancer affect your social life? And the answer is simply no. There was a follow-up question to that by Break, and they said, and dating, I wonder if cancer diagnosis would want someone to stop dating. And the honest answer is that cancer is kryptonite to romantic relationships. These are the only bitches that are that are stuck around with the cancer situation. But that is not a negative thing to sort of pass on. Life is unfair. Life is harsh, and there's no point in sort of dwelling on it more and kind of being like, oh, why won't you like date me just because I'm going to die? That's not a realistic way to look through things, and it's not a sensible thing to harbor ill will against a woman for making that sort of a life decision, because it's a smart one. It's just pure and simple. It's ruthless, but it's a smart decision. So if you just treat your long-term relationship like a business, a transaction, friendships, you could say the same thing about them. This is not just trying to like sort of make marriage seem like it's kind of tacky or anything like that. If you just sort of pitch them where it's like first date, second date, third date or whatever, the worst case scenario if you are going out with somebody who has a terminal disease is you fall in love with them. That is the worst case scenario. Because when they pass, which will likely be soon, it will be devastating. So if you look at it from the perspective of the other sort of girls that I was dating, it was obviously from my perspective, yeah, it's horrible, it's ruthless, it's like, the ghosting is brutal. But from their perspective, like, ghosting culture is really bad at the moment anyway. I think that is just like something that girls do not realize that it is. Guys do it as well, but from my perspective, I've seen that it happens way more common. It's just far too easy to do. But I don't think they understand how much that hurts. Not just the rejection. Rejection is dealt with all the time, but like the no more conversation, no even polite, I'm no longer interested. And I know that there's reasons for that, with asshole guys that won't give up. It's like, oh, she's just playing hard to get. Fuck off. Men are responsible for doing that sort of thing. But at the end of it, it still comes down to the person who doesn't sort of reply at all. It's just rude, and it is incredibly hurtful. And I believe both of those two things end up with this kind of never-ending cycle of men versus women, where it's like, women are like, oh God, they just won't stop bothering me. Like, I've said no, how many times do I have to say this? And then from the other perspective, it's like, oh, she just completely iced me off. And it's like always from the different positions of like, I'm not the kind of guy that would keep going, keep asking, can we go on a date tonight? Because I know that's annoying. But then the girls who sort of cut you off completely, and it's like they get that mentality from the guys that won't stop pushing. And the guys get that non-stop pushing thing because they don't understand how to appropriately accept rejection. It's a never-ending cycle of kind of, it's your fault. Yeah, well, it's because you did this. And on it goes. Nonetheless, the ghosting is horrific. Please calm it down a little bit. I understand social media and dating apps haven't helped with that, but yeah. From a female perspective, there is no polite way to say, I'm not interested anymore, because I actually quite like you, and the fact that I've just found out that you've got terminal cancer is really off-putting, because if things progress and things go really well, that means I'm going to get more attached to you, and it means that in the future, the detachment of you being just sort of taken away from life is going to be really hard on me. And that is perfectly logical, and it's perfectly sort of nice in the terms of someone, it's almost like a backhanded compliment where it's like, you seem like, this relationship is going well. This is going from dating to like seeing further. They don't know me well enough at all where it's like it's owed to me to kind of have that deep sort of conversation of, here, look, Ian, I like you, but like, I don't want to fall in love with you. That's a deep thought, and I think it's in a way, I would prefer if people were to be able to speak like that more kind of candidly. I'm literally listening to a book at the moment, and one of the things that they've just spoken about was about how when he first moved over to Russia for a while, Russians just say everything directly, and it probably stems from the Soviet communist amount of horror that they were having from all the spying stuff, where everybody was kind of against each other. And so the most valuable resource or asset that any person could have in Russia at the time was straight up honesty, because with straight up honesty you get trust. And something that he was pointing out in the book was about how that's something that we don't do in the West very well, where we kind of say nice things to each other, basically because we're not in social trouble. You know, we don't have to trust each other as much. We'll be able to get by. And so we pamper each other and we sugarcoat things. And I hate that so much. It doesn't benefit anyone to kind of like that, hi, how's your day? Or like when it's not meant, like, you know, oh my God, like, what do you think of this jacket? Oh, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. No one is like, that's not doing any favors. And so again, to go back to the dating thing, I know it's hard, particularly for women, to tell the truth to men, because sometimes they start going, wow, what do you mean you don't like me? What do you mean this, that, and the other? And they like kind of pester you about it. But ultimately, if we are all open and honest about what is going on in our relationships, I think it is far better for everybody involved. Absolutely everybody involved. I think that almost is more important to, maybe not more important to men, but one thing that I would like to add on about who it's what's more important to. When a woman says she's not interested, fuck off. Leave her the fuck alone. That's it. And if she's the kind of girl who does the whole like, I like to play hard to get, fuck her. She's like, you know, if she wants to play that stupid shit, then fuck her. Well, actually, don't fuck her. Do the opposite. Do the complete opposite. Just be like, right, she's not interested. You know, bang. Don't, like, some people are playing those games. Ultimately, it makes it worse for everybody. If they say they're not interested, that's it. Okay? If you keep doing it, if every man in the world was like, you know, right, they're not interested, I'm going to stop, then the women who are out there that like, you know, oh, I like it when he plays hard to get, they'll stop doing that, because if we all, it's never going to work. This is just like me daydreaming. But anyway, woman says, piss off, she's not interested. You should respect the fact that she has saved your time. And you now do not need to like attempt to try and woo her further with like, you know, I'm going to send 10 rose emojis to her account this time. Don't do it. It's not worth it. You're wasting your time. You're wasting her time. Listen to what she says. Oh, and before we go on to the next question, if any of the men or women have opinions on my own opinion on that, or they have stories that they want to tell that they feel is relevant, please say so in the comments. It seems to me that it's particularly bad at the moment with just social media, with just how much people are divided into groups and kind of almost pitted against one another. Male and female sort of war will never end. It will never end. And in a way, it's almost great that it won't, because otherwise life would be boring if that happened. But please say you make your point. Just don't try and like, I don't know, be an asshole while you do it. So before we get on to the next set of questions, I would like to thank the I'd like to thank the 6 people who are actually our first Patreon members. So the people who are quite literally keeping the lights on. Cameron Harper, The Black, Linda Somerville, Emily Best, Carol Looking, and Sean Woods. So thank all 6 of you. Anyway, moving on. So Audrey here, I'm Mr. Mrs. friend, so, you know, forgive the misspelling. She was saying, do you sometimes get tired of your crusade with all the charity fundraising? And the answer is just very simple. No, absolutely not. Not in the slightest. I will get tired naturally as just a person with like kind of the 32 counties finishes off afterwards. I'm knackered and just kind of like, okay, yeah, need a sort of a break to tidy up the house and just kind of do some stuff around London, walk around, walk the dogs, little stuff like that. But in terms of the actual goal itself, not in the slightest. I have never been more kind of driven to do this sort of thing. When I do stuff that's not related in any way to the charity goal, I don't enjoy it. Like short-term things, like going out to dinner with friends and family, that sort of stuff, that's fine. But if I was to go on like a weekend away with like my mates for their wedding or their, you know, sort of a lad's trip away, it takes very little time until it starts going, get back to work. Best mate's wedding. At like, I think day 2 already, I was just kind of like, summer's coming. That's always the busy month for like social media stuff. What am I going to do here? And like going out, I still enjoy myself and all, but like the anxiety of like kind of, want to get back onto your, like, you know, write another script, make another video. So it's beautiful. I know obviously that means that I don't enjoy certain things nearly as much as I used to, but to be able to just have this ongoing muscle in my stomach just like quenching up when I'm not working, it's so nice to have. And like, I never had that before. I never had this kind of work ethic, and I'm really grateful for it. Next one down from Audrey is how much money have we raised? This is nice and fast. It's 600,000 US dollars. Often you'll hear me say 500,000 just because I constantly get the 600 million. Right there is perfect example. I always mispronounce that. Over 600 million US dollars. And instead of saying 600,000, I say 600 million. Everything is okay, don't you worry. So yeah, I just say 500,000 because I don't get that wrong. And to be perfectly honest, I really don't think many people give a shit about the 100,000 extra that's been raised. When I'm sort of saying it in a video, I kind of feel like there's just like tiers of money that needs to be announced with like people to be like, oh wow, that's good. You know, if you say I raised 5 million, that's kind of the same as I raised 4 million. I don't think people are going to be like, you know, even though it's a million. And I think in the same way, if you say I raised 1 million, people are going to, yeah, that's incredible. And if he's going to say 2 million, it feels like it's the same, you know? So next person down has asked, what is your favorite film? First Star Wars is my favorite film. That has just sort of brought in, it was just a big part of my childhood. We used to go and literally get on our bikes, me and my friend Rex. We used to cycle around in circles pretending like we were, they're not spaceships because they're on the planet, but they're going around the walkers and they like tie up the walkers' legs with the pins and then bring them down. We used to pretend like we were those on our bicycles and just cycling around. And I just love that film so much. It's just a cinematic masterpiece. And it's, yeah, as like, I'm sure if someone else would follow up with another question. No, I don't think the latest Star Wars films are good. It's very annoying to just see the franchise being just so, like, soaked with this wet blanket of an attempt to make another film. And it's like, okay, great. You got the 3 actors back again and you didn't even have a scene where all 3 of them were together. Brilliant. Han Solo. Cool. You basically just kind of made him into like a bum divorced dad who's like, I went back to scavenging. Fantastic. Wasn't he the guy who like led the rebellion in the 3rd film? Anyway, so yeah, that's my favorite film.
So this is not me faking it. In the editing process of just watching getting the footage of the aircraft flying around the walkers in The Empire Strikes Back, I was just like, oh my God, I haven't seen this in so long. It just kind of welled me up with like just how brilliant it is, how well it's done, how old it is, 1980, and it's still just like a visual masterpiece. And yeah, I just thought I'd add this in to be like, this was me looking at the video.
The last question from Skeen here is, how soon into your recovery did you start running marathons again? Oh wait, sorry, what was the last bit? And have you been on treatment more than once? So I went through one sort of a bout of radiotherapy and chemotherapy. You probably won't be able to see it as well here, but the you might be able to see that that's in quite a sort of a symmetrical shape, and that's because that scar is actually just from the radiotherapy where they sort of pin you down. It's not pleasant. Well, it's not that bad actually compared to like a thing, but on paper it sounds very scary. It sounds like you're being waterboarded. Your face is kind of put into this mask that's like held really tight, so you're like pinned like it's a Hellraiser sort of thing. You're like to a machine, and then they send a laser beam through your head at different points, exact different points, and the idea being is that the lasers come through at different points from here, from here, from here, from here, from here, and so the whole area is hit with radiation lightly, but then the central point where your tumor is hit very hard. And so yeah, my chemotherapy and my radiotherapy was done in one blast, but I was actually running to the Royal Marsden Hospital, which from where I live now, it was similar to from where I lived at the time as well. It's roughly 7 miles. I remember thinking if I run there and I run back, that's a half marathon. I thought that'd be really cool. I never actually managed to have the strength to do the there and back, because once you're there and I'd be like having my scan or whatever, my legs would get quite tired afterwards. So I would take the bus back home. As I thought, again, with social media, where I started off, it's like, yeah, I'm kind of breaking the stereotypes of what people associate with cancer, where it's like, oh my God, this guy's the David Goggins of cancer. He's here, he's running to his chemotherapy session. Whereas in reality, the chemo that I was on, because I have brain cancer, the chemo isn't very hard. It's not really sort of toxic. It still is toxic. It's not good for you, but it's very mild because your brain is your most vital organ. By a country mile, nothing even compares. Everything else in your body can actually be replaced, not your brain. So, well, not for the moment anyway, but like, you know, they're working on, you know, synchronizing us into the AI. It's already happening. Like, you know, Zuckerberg is coming out with those glasses that your fingers can relate to, where you can kind of like have access to your phone. And I mean, if they're attached to us, that means our hands are free. You know, already we're syncing in with that. So who knows, maybe someday there will be a way that you can replace someone's brain, download it onto a computer, but it is not today. So yeah, if you want to join into the Patreon group, that'd be really, really helpful. If you do so, you get one teeny tiny benefit from doing that, and that means that you have priority over asking questions for the next diary entry. If you put down comments in this YouTube here, whichever comments get a lot of likes and they have not been questions that have been asked before, I'll try to answer them. Yeah, if you've come this far already and you know my channel from somewhere else, and you've come on, get the words out of your mouth, and you've forgotten to press the subscribe button, now's your opportunity. Just like there's a little reminder there, everybody who subscribes to the channel gets one free dog. Every dog comes with one eye. You get an extra eye if you are part of the Patreon account as well. So subscribe and sign up for Patreon, and you'll get a dog with 2 eyes. Kiki! So, if you subscribe, you get a dog with 1 eye. If you subscribe and sign up to Patreon, you get a dog with 2 eyes. So yeah, off you go. You choose, and yeah, say fuck you to cancer with me.